Historically, guitar manufacturers would build their guitars, set them up, get them where they wanted them to be, case them up, box them up, send them to, more often than not, an independent retailer out there in the world. At that store, they would take it out of the box, take it out of the case. Before they hung it up on the wall, they would look at it, adjust it if anything was needed, and then they'd hang it up. Well, business has changed a lot. Such a high percentage of guitars that are built now are purchased and sold through e-commerce, and a lot of times nobody gets a chance to touch that guitar between the time it leaves our factory and it gets to the end user. The playability as it leaves the factory is so much more critical these days than historically it was, that the technology, known as Plek technology, is incredibly important to our business.
A Plek machine is an amazing device. It simulates string tension, measures the neck, and allows us to cut each fret to a precise height to match the optimal relief pattern that should be put into a guitar.
What this machine will do is it will take the finished guitar, analyze the neck, analyze the fretwork, and at that point in time, it will make an internal decision in the machine what needs to be done to make it better, to make it to what it feels is the perfect guitar. It will analyze every fret under where every string is going to lie. If a fret is a thousandth of an inch higher than the one before it or after it, it will then go in and it will level them out. It will recrown it, polish it, just make sure that fingerboard is right where it should be so the playability is perfect for the end user.
So the first steps of the Plek operation is to determine which fixtures are going to go on the guitar. Once we've determined that and applied the fixtures, then it's on to the STS where we measure the neck relief. We want 7,000th at the 7th fret of neck relief. This gets it to perfect operational mode for putting it into the machine. It does all the measurements on every fret, every string, and then presents us with a string graph. At that point, we go to what we call the fret dress, the virtual fret dress. And that thing will cut each and every fret all the way down the board according to what that virtual fret dress looks like.
I get an instrument, decide what plate goes on for the headstock and then one for the bridge. And then I'll put it in the STS, which is called the string tension simulator. And it just kind of gives the fake nuance of what the string tension will be, like how it's going to fold in. And then I adjust the truss rod so that it feels right, put it in the machine, and then it goes and sensors, it reads each fret, and then I choose where I want it to cut so that when they put the strings on, it'll just play right.
Another step that it does is it does slot the nut for us in most cases. Slotting the nut is one of those things where that first position playability is critical. That's where most people play most of the time, is in the first 3 frets. If the nut slotting isn't right, it's too low, you're going to get buzzing. If it's too high, the guitar is difficult to play or it won't really play in tune as good as it could. So all of this technology takes away nothing from the hand building of the guitar, but just makes that first strum by the end user a much more pleasurable experience, and just creates a guitar that is as dimensionally perfect as possible.
The advantage of the Plek machine is that we never knew what the neck looked like under tension. And that's the game changer for the Plek.
Every Gibson acoustic guitar is Pleked here in Bozeman. We build every Gibson acoustic guitar as if it is the most precious guitar in the world. And that includes every guitar getting the Plek process completed.
This is essentially the bottleneck for everything. Like, these 4 machines run everything through. Some get to, this one doesn't go into the buffing room. It's called a historic. And it's thin finished, so they want it to look a little rougher so we don't get it all shiny and polished. But anything that goes through, it comes through here.
factory in and of itself, as you watch it, as you walk through and observe what's going on, it's kind of like a living organism. How if you follow a piece all the way through and see all the hands that touch it all the way through, it's quite an amazing process. Each and every individual has to have a certain skill set to make this thing work all the way through. A lot of people putting their heart and soul into each and every part of this as it moves forward. It's quite an amazing thing to watch, because at the end of the day, everybody looks at what they've done throughout the day, and I think they take a lot of pride in what they do.